Let me tell you something. You're not really stuck, but you're trying too hard. Because you don't really need to know everything right away. And you don't need to know all of the answers. And being desperate to know them will continue to make you feel stuck. And on top of that, it will make you feel anxious and overwhelmed. I heard recently that our ego has this false belief that it is in control of everything. That it has to be in control of everything. And a lot of our anxiety comes also from the place that we believe that we have to have everything that we want right now. The need of control causes us to feel like the whole world is on our shoulders. And when we don't get answers that we want, and we don't get ways that we want, and when we don't have ideas that we want and that we expect from the world and ourselves to receive, we get anxious, we get uncomfortable, and sometimes we even get trapped in self-doubt, we question our abilities, we give up when we face obstacles, when actually all we need is just a little bit more space and time. And you might find yourself feeling like you're forcing and pushing through life, that you need to just work your way no matter how, and that you need to make the things happen with a lot of effort. But in life, most of the great things happen when we let it flow. And when we are not putting so much effort, when we just let the things unravel for us. And let's take ideas as an example. We all know that scenario that you sit for an hour trying to think very intensely about some ideas, maybe a gift, maybe a business plan, maybe a project that you want to do, and you spend just hours and hours thinking, and you're like, I don't know, like nothing is coming to my brain. And then randomly after some time, you get a shower thought, or you get the thoughts during walk. In a time that you're not really paying attention to thinking, you allow the idea to come to you. And this happened as well to great thinkers like Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton. At least that's what Google says, so I hope it's true. And also in 2012, there was a study where the researchers took a group of students. They asked them to find out the most creative ways how to use everyday objects, like for example a toothpick. And after this task, part of the group was allowed to have a 12-minute break. And when performing the task for the second time, the group that was allowed to have a break performed better. They had more creative ideas than the ones that didn't have a break. And this shows that taking a break helps with solving problems in creative way. When we feel stuck, often we can face many negative and difficult emotions. And what mindfulness teachers say is that most of our fear and anxiety and stress comes from the past experience and our judgments about that. So, oh my god, I made a mistake in the past, so now what's gonna happen now? And we are just very stuck in the things that happened, or our predictions about the future. So how I'm gonna perform, how it's gonna influence my life, and we get to this overthinking state. It's very important to take a step back and ground ourselves in the present moment, because when you are fully in the present moment, the intensity and the power of those negative emotions decreases and they don't control you anymore. And when most of us is familiar with mindfulness, I want to share with you another concept as well. It is called Wu-Wei and it comes from Taoism. And in Chinese it means non-doing or doing nothing. And Wu-Wei has this very interesting paradox actually, that striving for less, so not trying so hard to win at all costs and just push our way, often brings more success. So you can accomplish more by doing less. Let me explain. Instead of pushing through, you need to take a step back and respond to the true demands of the situation that you are in. It is focusing on what can be done right now, in the present moment. And sometimes it is trying a different approach, for example, and other times it can be just doing nothing and letting the things unravel and letting the things just flow. They say that you need to be like a bamboo or a plant that bends with the wind, because if you're gonna be too rigid, you're gonna break. And when you experience Wu-Wei to the fullest, it is a state of flow, like you become one with the experience without pushing and paying much effort. It's actually like you don't feel effort, you just flow like a river. And I found that English philosopher and writer Alan Watts said something similar. This is a real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. He claims that we should consider everything as play and just let go and go with the flow, like in the moment that we are dancing. Because the more you're desperate to achieve the certain result, the less you are likely to get it. And this, for example, happens with the happiness paradox that was found in research. Basically, they found that if you will make happiness as your ultimate goal and ultimate value and as something that you're striving for in life, you can become less happy than before you made the decision that you want to be happy. And this happens probably because the people who are striving for happiness pay more attention to unhappy thoughts, and they get frustrated every time when it happens. Also, they might strive for the peaks of happiness and not really for the frequency of positive emotions and contentment. And overall, they're trying to grasp it and get it, and it just doesn't work, because happiness, it's more like an emotion, and it comes and it goes. And I don't know if you're religious or spiritual, but I am. And I do believe that everything eventually will work out. Whether it's an idea, a plan, a dream, when you will allow things happen, when you will open up for the flow and you will just put the pressure off, the things will start to occur in your life. Whether it is a possibility, some doors will open, you will meet someone, and eventually everything is making sense. And when we are in the midst of it, we might not see it, but at the end of the day, if we have a strong intention and we balance the things that we can do with the things that we can't control, it is gonna work out. Because there is something divine in some life events, experiences, people that we meet, that after some time we see that it's just like there's must be something about that. I don't know. I know it might be confirmation bias, that I'm just looking for the proof to my beliefs, but if you will believe that it will work out and it's gonna be okay and you are worthy and the answers will come your way, it is gonna happen. So when you feel stuck, remember to take a step back and see what are the demands of the situation and try to think about the things that you can do in the present moment. Remember to take a pressure off and remember about Wu-Wei and effortless work. And at the end of the day, try to trust the process and try to trust yourself. And as the biggest cliche says, it is not about the goal, it is about the journey. And we need to enjoy it to the fullest. My top priority is to create content that resonates with you, and that's why I created a Google form with few questions that will help me to create more valuable videos. If you have time and space, I'd love to connect with you. The link is in the description, and if you enjoyed this video, you will definitely find a lot of value in my other video about mindset and how our brain makes us feel stuck. There we talk about science and how to reframe our thoughts, and I wish you all the best and see you next time.